And we're live. Well, at least my posts on social media are. And now I'm live with you guys. Hope you're all having a lovely Monday, day, afternoon, evening, whatever it is, wherever you are. Why have I brought you all here? Why have I all called you to my YouTube channel? Well, I'm super duper crazy excited about a brand new song that I will be releasing this Friday, May 29th with my friends Chemical Sweet Kid. Some of you guys who have a little bit of an inside track to the whole thing have already got the song and seem to like it, so that is really good news. And I think that's a good sign that those who haven't heard it will also enjoy it. So, what do I need from all of you? Well, yes, clean shave face. I couldn't handle the beard anymore. It was getting too much. Well, as all of you know, or probably know, Aesthetic Perfection is a 100% independent artist project, whatever. What that means is that we don't have any labels, we don't have any investors or, really any sort of machine behind us pushing this thing forward. I mean, really, it's just me and my Patreon supporters and, all of you guys. So one of the most important things for independent artists right now is pre-saves. And what pre-saves are people who go and pre-save a song on Spotify before it drops. Now, most artists who are, let's say, 2, 3, 4, 5 times as big as Aesthetic Perfection, they have trouble getting even 1,000 pre-saves. That's really hitting the jackpot in today's music industry. Now, I know that we've already hit a couple hundred pre-saves thanks to my Patreon supporters. And I think that all of you can help us get over the hump and actually reach 1,000. So even if you don't like Spotify, I hope you're willing to pre-save the new single just for me so that we can maybe, just maybe, actually make it into Spotify curated playlists. That is the fucking holy grail for an artist like myself. So I'm going to keep harping on you guys to do that. But in the next 4 days, if you could pre-save it, tell your friends to pre-save it, I would be ever so grateful. And if you check out my Instagram right now, you can hear a little teaser of the song. And maybe, just maybe, during our conversation, I'll play you guys a little clip. So here, I'm sending the pre-save link into the chat. And that's all you got to do. Click the link, click the pre-save button on the link, and it's done. That's it. Quick and dirty, takes you about 5 seconds. Now, this is also a pre-sale link for iTunes users and also for Google Play. Now, these stats also matter, obviously. But really, what the industry pays the most attention to right now is Spotify. If you don't have a Spotify account, you can sign up for a free account and they just make you listen to commercials. And all you have to do is be signed into Facebook and you click Spotify account. and you're done. So, all right, this is a very good question. Woo! All right. Ann Lee Spector asks a very good question. Any other places you want us to go for countries that don't have Spotify? Yes. You can go to aestheticperfection.bandcamp.com and you can pre-order it there. You can also, like I said, you can follow the link. You can, I believe, pre-save on Google Play and also pre-order on iTunes. And these are also very, very important things. Bandcamp, iTunes, Google Play. It all makes a difference. It all really, really makes a big difference. That's correct. As Morla says, you do not need Spotify. You do not need to have Facebook for Spotify. That is absolutely correct. You can sign up just with your email address, but the quick and easy way of doing it is just being signed into Facebook and do that. But obviously, there are options. Ren makes an excellent point. Those who do not have Spotify available in their country can use a VPN. I mean, I'm American. I live in Austria. I really, really enjoy my American TV programs on Hulu and my HBO Now. So I use a VPN for that. And it is pretty nifty. When I click the link, it doesn't open for me on my mobile device. It just shows reporting options as though it might be spam. It's kind of silly if you ask me, considering it's your thread. Sure, but YouTube is sometimes a bit, let's say, finicky when it comes to the outside links that they want to support, even if it's coming from a verified channel. But you can still click through, I believe, on a laptop. Yeah. I mean, look, it ain't perfect. I'm just a guy with a laptop and a glass of whiskey. You know what I mean? Remission Entertainment. Hey, Daniel, hope you're well. I am quite well, thank you. I hope you are doing well as well. I mean, now that I've kind of given you guys my whole spiel, we can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. But, really, this song came about at the last minute through, just really a collaborative spirit between Julian from Chemical Sweet Kid and I. We talked about collaborating ever since the tour that we did in Europe last spring. Now we just found ourselves having the time to do it, which turned out really great because we just sort of experimented with different ideas and sounds, and I think it wasn't long afterwards that we realized that we wanted to create something that sort of encapsulated our feelings at this moment in time. So this song really is sort of about right now, and kind of think expresses how I'm feeling and Julian's feeling and many of us are feeling at this pretty wild moment in history. So I'm really proud of this track, and I really, really hope you guys like it. I like it. Julian likes it. It's all good stuff. Oh my God. All right, here we go. You are the first guy I know who drinks whiskey out of a wine glass. This is not a wine glass. This is an Austrian Schnapsglas. This is not for whiskey, but whiskey is technically a schnapps. This is for different kinds of Austrian schnapps, hard liquor, mostly stuff that's brewed with fruit. Um, and in lieu of a whiskey glass, I think that it is a pretty good compromise. All right, pre-saved to my personal Spotify. Looking forward to hearing it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right, I'm just going to power through some of these questions right now. Do you think skinwalkers are real? I do not know what skinwalkers are. Not to derail the awesome music chat, but is Norwegian Forest Cat around to say hi? Norwegian Forest Cat does not like cameras. And if you have looked on my Instagram stories today, you will see the very grumpy expression that I was delivered when I tried to take her picture earlier today. I try to record the Norwegian Forest Cat song much more often than you actually get to see. Like, there's a lot of attempts that are made where she just gets up and walks away. The cat does not like being filmed. She's a shy one. She is a grumpy one. Wait, you actually like one of your own songs? Well, I've gotten to this point where I like songs. I should say, I still never want to hear the song again because I've heard it about 300,000 times already. But I'm not like I don't get the chills that go up my spine when I hear it the way I do or did like songs that I completed in the past. So for some of you that don't know this, I typically hate my own music and I refuse to listen to it. I'm still that way. I'm just a little less intense about it. But I still will leave the room if my music comes on at a club. I absolutely hate that. It's like hearing your voice on somebody's answering machine times 100 billion, million, gazillion, bajillion. What kind of whiskey are you drinking? So, this is Jameson. It's not the best whiskey in the world, but you can get it for 18 euros in the grocery store here, which ain't bad. Now, I do have a bottle of Koval bourbon, which is imported from America, and it's amazing. But I've got like the good whiskey, and then I've got like the drinking whiskey. So we're on a drinking whiskey day. We're not on like a let's just sit there and like dissect the flavor profile. This is just like, I'm going to talk to you guys and I'm going to drink some JMO. You know what I mean? Bring back the Little Cat song. I should bring back the Little Cat song. I will do it. I will do it one day. But Norwegian Forest Cat has been a hit, you know, man. You got to give the crowd what they want. Missed the memo that you'd moved to Austria. I thought you were still in California. Drinking whiskey at 9 a.m., my kind of guy. Yeah, I'm not 21 anymore, so no, I do not wake up with whiskey. This is my first drink of the day, and I'm going to nurse the hell out of it, and then I'll probably have one glass of wine and then call it a day, because it's Monday, and I got work to do tomorrow. It should be Monday Run Day, but unfortunately it's like pouring rain, so that didn't happen. So I just decided to have a drink and talk to you guys about this new jam. And for those of you who may just be joining me, gonna bust this. I'm gonna Ooh, that sounded filthy. Okay. I'm going to just share the pre-save link again. This is for Spotify, iTunes, and Google Play. If you would be so kind as to pre-save this brand new jam of mine, it would mean the world to me because, well, Spotify really only cares about these numbers these days. And it's the only way that a guy like me gets into big playlists because I don't have a label or a lawyer or anybody cool at Spotify who's going to like just, stick my songs in cool playlists because they want to do that for me. All right, here we go. Oh my God. So many comments. Okay. Maybe it helps if you say some words in Norwegian to her to make her more pleased. I really don't know any words in Norwegian except for like "støkuk," but that's probably only Swedish. Tack för pik, tack för kuk. I don't know. Have you ever drunk Beerwurz? No, I've never drank Beerwurz. I would love to try it though. Have you ever taken your ear jewelry out? Look. Oh, have you taken your ear jewelry out? I took it out when my plugs are made of plastic, so they're not like, I don't know, I'm super sensitive to metal, and so if I have like metal piercings, I get like infections and shit like that. So I took out all my piercings, and now I've just got the rubber plugs, and I take them out every now and then, just so my ears don't get gross and cheesy. Will you ever be on Mara Luna again? I'm sure I will be, if there's ever a Mara Luna again. You should produce a song on alcohol, especially your favorite alcohol. Would definitely love to hear that. I don't know if you know who you're talking to here. I've produced a lot of songs on alcohol. It's actually not that great. I used to drink a lot when I was producing. Now I found it just sort of like makes me sloppy and unfocused. Then I got really into getting stoned, and then like that was great for a while. That was really great for a while because I just I would get like tunnel vision, and I would just work for hours and hours again, or hours and hours on end, and then I would like blink, and it would be 3 or 4 hours later, and I would just have like this like well mixed or produced track, and I'd just be like, "What the fuck happened?" But unfortunately, all I get is paranoid now, so no more weed for me. So actually, I found at least at this kind of point in my life, being sober is the best way to create. Is this a poison ivy tattoo? Poison ivy? What? Huh? I don't know. What? Still happy I caught your show in Moscow just before the quarantine. Yes, that was actually the last show that we have played. It, yeah, that was a good one though. It was a good way to sort of like end it, right? Or end it, but you know what I mean. Like, it was a good sort of like show to take the forced hiatus on. You know what I mean? Bist du Aesthetic Perfection oder besteht Aesthetic Perfection aus mehreren Leuten? Aesthetic Perfection. Oh God, I hate speaking German. Aesthetic Perfection ist nur ich und ich alleine. That's it. I've been speaking German all day. God damn it. All right. Let's plug this computer in. Can you pin comments in the chat? I don't know. Can I? Nope. I can only remove it. I see the beard is gone. Yes, I decided that I much preferred being smooth as a baby's bottom. Hey Daniel, was at your concert together with Lindemann in the Ukraine. It was amazing. Wondering, will you ever visit Ukraine again? Well, I think as long as we get to play concerts again, we will certainly return to the Ukraine. Just to quickly let you know, that was not our first time in the Ukraine. It was actually our third time. Played in Kiev twice, and I'd actually been to Odessa on holiday back in like 2009. So been to Ukraine quite a few times. I love it. I love to see how it changes every time I get there. It's an awesome place. I can't wait to come back. Have you finally had sushi? Nope. Hey Daniel, thank you for the great show in Minneapolis back in October. It was my pleasure. Thank you for being there and making it amazing. I remember Minneapolis was one of the loudest shows on that tour. Second only probably to Denver. So that was amazing. Well, as much as I do not want to get involved in any sort of political discussions, honest question, how do people outside the US see people in the US protesting wearing masks and all the other bullshit that's happening? If you pay attention to world news, you'll see that that same stuff is happening here in Europe. There are tons of protests, especially in Germany, where people do not want to wear the mask. They call it a Maulkorb, which is sort of like a muzzle, and they get really, really annoyed, and then they get arrested. So don't worry, stupidity is everywhere. Do you actually know what you said in Swedish? Yes, I do. In your music, do you really scream, or is it just some kind of technique? I mean, it depends. It's all a technique. You have to do everything with a certain level of, well, if you want to do what is called extreme vocals, you have to use technique, or else you're basically going to put an expiration date on your career. That's why sort of my vocals changed so much after my second album, because I wasn't using any amount of technique, and I was pretty much ensuring that my voice would be fried probably by this time. So really to avoid that, I started diving sort of headfirst into metal music and extreme vocal techniques, and it's been a really long and frustrating and insane journey that I've actually been meaning to make a sort of video about. But there are all different kinds of sort of screaming, harsh vocal techniques, and it just kind of like depends on what you define as screaming. So is it loud with distortion? Is it just pure distortion, even if it's not super loud? It's a long question. All right. Where do you stand on people using your music in their videos? Do you allow that? Yes. Go ahead. Any news on the Industrial Pop Festival? I'm hoping to have some news in the next week or two. Unfortunately, we're sort of like at the mercy of governments and regulations, and whether or not international travel is going to be allowed. And specifically for Germany, the ban on large gatherings ends at the end of August, and the festival that we had planned is intended to take place 2 weeks after that. So it really puts us in a very difficult position because we just don't know whether or not the festival will be allowed to happen. So we're just trying to get as much information as we can about what the future is going to look like, because obviously even if the festival's allowed to happen, but I'm not allowed to fly in Joey from New York, or all of the bands that we've like booked from different parts of the world are either can or won't be there. It makes it very, very difficult because this isn't just me, right? Like, this is a festival with like tons of bands. So this is why we haven't really given any information on those bands, because we don't know, they don't know. Uh, Everybody's just sort of like in flux right now, and I'm really hoping that we have a final decision in the next, I want to say, couple of weeks. Poison Ivy under Frankenstein. Oh, you mean the zombie girl? That's just a zombie pinup girl. Will there be more singles shortly after this one coming out on Friday? Yes, I have been incredibly prolific lately. I've been on tour for so long that I really hadn't had the opportunity to write as much as I wanted to. So I've just sort of been collecting ideas, like musical snippets, lyrical snippets, all this kind of stuff. Just like I've got this huge bank of concepts and inspirations and ideas and all this stuff. So actually, once we went on lockdown, really, I just threw myself headfirst into work, and I've been like powering, powering through stuff. So you can absolutely expect a ton of new music from me in the coming weeks and months. Ooh, there's the thunder. He lives in Vienna. Bavarian Alex, I do not live in Vienna. I live in Upper Austria. I live in the middle of nowhere. Vienna. Come on. Are you planning to live stream concerts or be part of live stream festivals? This is something that a lot of you guys have asked. Uh, I don't really know, because it takes really a lot of time and energy to put together something that's cool. And like, I don't want to just be super slapdash about it. Like, I'm kind of a control freak, kind of a perfectionist, if you hadn't noticed. So I think that it's important that if I was to do something like that, that I would do it right. Um, and I've talked to a couple of the different festivals, and I'm deciding whether or not there's like a way for me to do it in 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 a way that is both like engaging, artistically interesting, all that kind of stuff. So ye- yes, I'm thinking about it. No, I don't have any sort of like, I don't have any. Yeah, I haven't like reached a full decision yet, but um, I hope that you are subscribed to my YouTube channel here, because there's going to be a ton of stuff coming out very, very soon. So just keep an eye out. Do you like Ghostbusters? Who doesn't like Ghostbusters? Ghostbusters is awesome. Um, where did you learn to speak German? In Germany? No, I've been traveling to Germany constantly since 2004. I've lived in Germany in 2006, and then between 2007 and 2012, I lived in Austria. And then now I'm back here in Austria for the foreseeable future. So I think that it's really, really important that when you live in a country that you know, assimilate, you learn the language, not only because it's polite, but because it's very, very helpful in being able to engage with your neighbors, go to the doctor, go to the grocery store, kind of all that stuff. So my German is by no means perfect and is very often frustrating, but um, it's certainly an interesting adventure. Do you write down your ideas like lyrics and sounds? I have a note in my phone. Actually, I have tons of notes in my phone where I write down lyrical ideas. I make audio recordings of melodies. I also have a physical notebook where I write down ideas. Like I prefer to finish my lyrics written in pencil. So I've got like a leather bound book and I write the majority of my lyrics or like finish the majority of my lyrics in that because like for me writing lyrics, it's not just about what you're trying to say, but it's how it sounds. I think that's equally important. And so often you will sacrifice the right word for the right sounding word. So I'm really kind of like revising my lyrics over and over again until pretty much like the last possible second because I want them to not only sound good, but also convey the emotion that I want to convey. So it's really helpful to be able to erase what you've written. Okay. I've seen some of your songs used on TikTok. That's pretty cool. Share these things with me. I don't fucking know this stuff. I would love to see it. I like your cow print throw pillows. Yes, my wife made these. They're pretty sick. When can the lower tier patrons hear the new single? On Friday. I mean, so everybody that is I believe it's Humboldt Squid and above, should have the new single in their inbox with the download code. And then people who are Flying Squid and above should be able to stream it right now. And people at the lowest tier, they will be able to hear it on Friday. Oh, now I'm embarrassed. I thought it was Vienna. I'm going to bury myself. Don't feel bad, Bavarian Alex. It's quite all right. I think a lot of people sort of assume that if somebody moves to Austria, that you're going to move to Vienna, especially being like an LA guy like myself. Maybe big city guy wants big cities, but I think I think this is an interesting sort of what's the word I'm looking for? I always have these moments where I pause and I stare off into nothing because like my brain is working. Um, it's it's a good sort of I'm only finding like a German word for this. So it's like Umstellung. Es ist eine große Umstellung. Ähm, und es ist oft kompliziert, aber ich finde es auch irgendwie schön. ja, wie gesagt, ich wohne hier aufs Land und ja, ich mag es. Ich habe ein bisschen Ruhe, ich habe Zeit, ich habe eine schöne Landschaft. Es ist ganz anders als eine Großstadt. Und das mag ich. Alright. Do you take presents from your fans? What do you want to have from fans from Russia? Um, okay, so I'm working on getting a P.O. box here. I've got a P.O. box in Los Angeles still, which we do check from time to time. I've got an awesome I've got an awesome assistant who has been invaluable in keeping the store alive and everything running there in LA. And so the address, if you want to send gifts to LA, that is on my Instagram. Otherwise, I'm in the process of trying to get my Austrian P.O. box set up. And once I do that, then I can accept gifts from anywhere. Woo! What do you think about motorsports? I don't really think anything about any kind of sports, to be honest. Wow, your German is so smooth today. I think what I'm starting to realize with German is that I need to really take the time to formulate what I want to say. And I think that I'm more often than not just stressed about not saying what I want to say properly or, getting the words out quickly because, when you speak slowly, people tend to look at you like you're an idiot. And obviously, like, I don't want to be thought of as an idiot. And I remember when I was living in Berlin, there were these French people that came in to look at our apartment when we were moving out, and they were taking the tour, and like they were speaking German, and it was great. Uh, but I mean, they weren't talking to me; they were talking to the realtor. But they talked slowly. They were like thinking through what they wanted to say, and I just remember like afterwards, the realtor was just like rolling her eyes, like, ugh, why did it take them like 10 years to say anything at all? And it's like, man, fuck you. Like those people are doing their best, and I totally understand. Like I totally understand why you get stressed about it, it's fucking hard, man. So I have a lot to learn, and as I live here for a longer time, I sort of just kind of get used to the fact that if people want to talk to me, they're going to have to be patient. What do you think about Russia? I love Russia. I love vodka. I love borscht. I love Russian dolls. No, I've never had it. Well, okay. Maybe this is a story for another time. But my first time in Russia was probably like the worst experience that I've ever had in my entire life. But I've been I've been to Russia quite a few times since then, and it's always been just amazing. So I'll tell you guys that story another day. It takes about 45 minutes to tell that story, so I'll tell you guys next time. But I really really do enjoy Russia, Russian people, Russian food. It's good stuff. Uh, do you have any news on getting a new store in Europe to help lower shipping costs to the UK? Well, um, I have made progress on this. I don't know when this is going to be a reality. Um, I think I think a lot of people really don't understand how difficult it is to be in my position where it's like I don't have this amazingly large infrastructure of people who are able to um, like make my business easy. I mean, easy. Why is easy the only word that I'm finding here? But it's like, on one hand, I get that the shipping costs from LA are insane. Um, I know it. I I'm fully aware of it. I wish I could change it. But I'm not Amazon. You know, it's like I don't have like a team of people, lawyers, and everybody like trying like this is literally just me, right? And if you wanted to buy like if I was in somebody on Etsy and I was selling, I don't know, gloves or hairpins or something like that, it's like you would have to pay the enormous shipping costs because there's just no other way around it. So small businesses like mine just are really put under enormous pressure to compete with people like Amazon who have all of the resources and abilities to just like, hey, I'm just gonna like launch a store in wherever the fuck I can because I can. Um, so it's it's not lost on me that it's really difficult for some people to justify spending like just as much in shipping. You know, if a CD costs $20, I understand that it sucks to pay $20 to ship the CD as well. But it's like I don't really have any other option right now. I'm like I said, I've made some progress. I'm working on it. I'm always working on it. But it's like you got to find people that you can trust, and you've got like countless red tape that you would need to go through in order to make it reality. So uh, I can at least report that I'm legally allowed to have a business in Austria in the European Union, and I am working on getting something ready by 2021. Where do your bandmates live? Elliot is Swedish. He lives in Poland, and Joey is American, and he lives in New York. And I'm American, and I live here in Austria. What would you say is your current aesthetic? I don't know. I feel like I'm always changing, which is a good thing. I feel like I'm always in flux. I think the only thing that stayed sort of um, consistent with me is my hat. I just like these hats, but the hats get better too. So um, I'm trying to figure out what like the next step for aesthetic perfection is going to be because like I've been doing the industrial pop thing for so long. Um, I would like the next evolution to be something new and different. I feel like I spent so many years trying to get people to jump on board to the industrial pop like philosophy and idea, and then it's like I got nothing but grief for it, but now that people are starting to finally accept it, I need to like go and do something else. Any chance of a new album soon? I don't know. I think a lot of people don't really know what the future for the music industry is going to be. It's really difficult to say. Everybody's just kind of like winging it right now. Uh, a lot of bands like have put their albums on hold because it's like if you can't tour, if you can't if you can't work with music video directors, it's like if we all have to stay at home, how can you properly promote an album? So I will do an album again, I think. I was really, really hesitant to do that, before Into the Black, but because of the overwhelming sort of demand for a new record, that I felt like I would have been a fool not to do it, and it ended up being like a really great and rewarding experience. So I certainly want to do that again. But I think for the time being, I'm just going to do some singles, and really kind of like push the envelope and explore where I can go artistically. And then I think once I've sort of landed on a direction, then maybe I can like sit down and make an album, especially if especially if the music industry kind of like knows what to do again, because we really don't know how long this is going to last. And I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. I just want to want to fuck around, see what happens. Oh, thank you, Alex, and thank you, Soki Tana. I always think that this super chat thing where you can send people money is kind of weird, but I'm also not earning any money right now, so I won't say no. Thank you very much. Would you ever do a music video for Spit It Out? I don't think so. That album is 12 years old. I think it's kind of not really sensible to make music videos for albums that are over a decade old, but we'll see. I would pay another 50 euros for another one of your albums, my dude. Well, like I said, don't worry, there will be another album at some point. It's just really about figuring out how to release it in the current state of the world, and how to find the artistic direction of that. Have you learned something like theater in the past? Your movement in your videos look like it. I guess if you count like grade school plays as the as theater, but other than that, no, I never learned how to dance or anything like that. I just try to like embody the characters that I'm portraying, which isn't so hard because all the characters are sort of versions of myself, right? So I think it's really about just getting in sort of the headspace and figuring out what those characters would be doing if they were there right in front of you. Of all the videos that you've done, which was the most fun to do, and which one was a pain in the ass? I think like every single artistic endeavor is both fun and a terrible pain in the ass, some more than others. Um, but felt like the Ebb and Flow video was really just a whole lot of fun. It's kind of a pity that nobody liked it, but that's fucking life. Are you working on any new sounds? Something not entirely AP. Okay, so I've been playing a lot with sort of artistic, let's say, restrictions. Um, I think that necessity is the mother of invention, and that to sort of restrict yourself in an artistic way is a really great method for growing. So I don't know if the experiments that I'm going that are I don't know if the experiments that are going on right now are going to manifest themselves as a new project, as the future of aesthetic perfection. Very often, those things never get released, uh, but you just gotta kind of figure it out. So I try not to make any sort of like concrete promises about anything until it really comes out. So do you think that you will attend some festivals if they are open next year? Yes, of course, if they're open. What advice would you give a young musician? Don't do it for the fame, don't do it for the money, do it only because you like it. You are going to encounter endless struggles, endless hurdles, endless obstacles. And if you're doing it for any reason other than passion, artistic drive, you're not going to succeed. Would you do a pure pop album if you knew that you would earn more money? I mean, are you asking if I would make Aesthetic Perfection a purely pop project? No, because I would have done that years ago. If I was in this for the money, then I would have followed a totally different path. I mean, hell, if I wanted to make money, I could have just continued being agrotech Aesthetic Perfection. Like, if I had just kept making a violent emotion for the last 12 years, I would probably be way better off financially than I am right now. But I don't think that that's really artistically exciting or conducive to growth as a person or as an artist. Um, yeah. All right. 5 more minutes. So, just to remind all of you guys that the new single Lockdown with my friend Julian from Chemical Sweet Kid drops this Friday, May 29th, on all major digital platforms. You can pre order it right now on Bandcamp, iTunes. I believe it's on Amazon as well. But it is incredibly important that you pre-save it on Spotify if you can. So I've just dropped the pre-save link in the chat again. It would mean the world to me if you would do that. Again, artists like me need to get pre-saves in order to get noticed by the Spotify algorithms and playlist curators. Otherwise, we have no hope for ever reaching any new audiences. And that's really what it's about, is continuing to push forward and hopefully reaching new people and sharing your art with them. So if we can get to 1,000 pre-saves before this drops, I think it will make a big, big difference. And to those of you who have pre-saved, I appreciate it. And to those of you who have not, I appreciate that you will do it. And to those of you who refuse, go to Bandcamp. Thank you. Okay. So, questions for 4 more minutes. Will you guys ever do something like a Twitch stream or like playing computer games or anything? Sometimes I live stream myself playing Call of Duty. There are some streams here you can watch from, I don't know, like a few months ago. I don't play as many video games as I used to. Actually, I was never really a big gamer, but yeah, I've only got like a limited amount of time in my day, and like lately I've really just enjoyed dedicating that to being creative. We'll see what the future holds. I don't know anybody, again, I don't know about any live stream shows. I really, if I do something like that, I want it to be something special and artistic and interesting. I don't just want to use my phone to record myself, I don't know, like screaming in the second bedroom. It's just kind of uninteresting. So I promise you, though, that there are some really cool things coming up, and you should keep watching right here. If I wanted to support you kind of like a business sponsor, how would I do that? Well, we have the Imperfect Society. Oh, fuck, I misspelled it. God damn it. Imperfect-society.net. I did it. All right. So the Imperfect Society are a group of supporters who basically keep this machine running. It would be impossible for me to do what I do without them. So I hope you will take a look at the Imperfect Society, maybe sign up. That is the best way to support me right now. What is your favorite tattoo? My squid. Who is your favorite band? Queen. Will someone ever perfect Renaissance Fair music? I have no idea. I have never thought about Renaissance music. Wanted to ask if you would be interested for an interview on my podcast. Drop me an email. Pop music doesn't convey the deep meanings or significance that a lot of songs have. I actually think that pop music is some of the most important music that has ever existed in the world, but that is a discussion to have when we have more than 1 minute to go. How many hats do you own? 10 or 20? Can you say hello to Maxim? He is 4 and he loves your music. Hello, Maxim. I hope you grow up to be a super awesome artist. All right. Guys, that's it. We did it. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Please do not forget to pre-save the new single Lockdown on Spotify or iTunes or Amazon or Google Play or whatever your preferred streaming platform is. But either way, I appreciate all of your support. You guys take care, and I'll see you soon.